C for cowboy. C for Chad. C for cowboy. I'm seeing a real pattern here. Fightful.com. What up, Fightful fam? Shaquille Majoui here again with Sean Ross Sapp. Another tier list. This time, Conor McGregor, UFC 257. Sean, are you ready to get some people mad?
I'm so ready. I don't think it'll be this controversial this time, though, but we'll see.
I mean, I feel like in some, we try to get coaches on these things. We got Dean Thomas to do the Dustin Poirier one. Shout out to all the publications that covered it.
Why? It won't get any coverage if Dean Thomas does it. If Sean Ross Sapp does it, you're going to have Luke Thomas, Ariel Helwani, John Morgan. They're all going to be talking about it. Chael Sonnen's going to do a video in front of his awesome backdrop and be like, well, listen, this is what Sean Ross Sapp said about the tier list. And I'll be like, you're damn right.
Well, this is my
Chael
point,
Sonnen.
which is it feels at times like your entire career is predicated on upsetting people. And so...
Oh, come on. Come on.
All right, let's get cracking. Okay, guys, you're going to notice the aesthetics are a little different. I went with the traditional S, A, B, C, D ranks because people don't listen, people don't read, and I'm getting chatter online of, oh, you're saying someone's the GOAT, you're saying someone's only a world champion, this isn't interesting, it's too subjective, it's not objective enough.
Sir,
You look like
you
Bubba
don't
Ray
know
Dudley with those.
anything about MMA.
Yeah.
Have you ever fought a day in your life? Because I sure have.
So, perfect. That is exactly the Reddit community of which I speak. So we're going to go S, A, B, C, D. Hopefully this is a little more streamlined, a little more uniform for those that are hearing impaired. Okay, Sean, let's do this. We know the system by now. We're going to go through 10 of Conor McGregor's greatest opponents, place them on a scale of S to D, basically a little bit of a career retrospect, where they sort of rank in terms of their overall body of work. And we're going to go in alphabetical order. So let's start with, I'd arguably say the only person to I think in fact Chad Mendes is without a doubt the worst recipient of Conor McGregor trash talk because he couldn't hold a candle, but he tried. Looking at his in-ring career, where do you place Chad Mendes on the scale?
Okay, so you've got the SABCD, which complicates things a little bit for me. I mean, I don't know if he's not a GOAT. He's not a world champion, but he's definitely contender level, which I assume would be the third tier.
1, 2, 3. It'd be, I mean, if you want to go off the old scale, which, you know what? I think this is a better way to do it because
sure.
This would be GOAT. This would be Hall of Fame. This would be world
so hold
contender.
on. Let's just say this is these tiers are comparatively speaking to these people or just MMA in general.
These people. Let's keep it inside the context of Conor McGregor.
Let's go with C.
Oh, okay. Not a lot of love for Chad Mendes.
No, I love Chad Mendes. I do. But compared to these people, I got to go with C.
Okay. I think that's fair. I probably would have put Chad Mendes myself at B tier just because of the sort of wars he had with Jose Aldo, almost beating him that second time. Gave Conor a lot of trouble on short notice for about a round and a half, as well as almost knocking out Alex Volkanovski. But the through line there is he almost always falls short.
Well, you know what? I've never lost to Conor McGregor, so maybe I should be the B tier as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can't even fit that.
It's the SRS tier.
Yeah, I think that's the universe telling me to not give you so much credit.
Yes.
All right, Dennis Sievert, where are we putting Dennis?
D, without a doubt. Throw some D's on that bitch.
D for Dennis.
Yes.
All right,
throw some D's on that bitch.
Me.
Loved the fight. Loved Dennis Sievert. He's fine. That's cool. Whatever. Had a nice career. Beat guys like Spencer Fisher, Diego Nunez. Back when beating Diego Nunez may have hypothetically meant something. Beat BJ Penn when it didn't mean anything. An okay guy on this list, by far a D.
Okay. I think that's fair, again, considering where he stacks up amongst some of the other big names we have here. And speaking of names that start with a D, are we going to double up and put Diego Brandao there?
Yeah, we sure as hell are.
Look at that.
Why wouldn't we?
Double Ds.
I mean, Diego Brandao, I mean, I forgot that this fight even happened, if you want me to be honest.
Yeah,
And
this was like Conor McGregor's big homecoming, right? It was in Dublin, Ireland, loud as all hell.
And since he left UFC, things haven't gotten any better for him. He wasn't great in Ryzen. He hasn't been great. I think he's fighting in I don't know, maybe in Europe now, because I know he fought Marcin Held a couple years ago, and he's lost like a bunch of fights. But I don't know. Yeah, he's a D.
Okay, let's see if we can break this curse. Donald Cerrone. Where are we putting Donald Cerrone on this list?
On this list, especially at the time in which he fought, I'm going to go with C.
Wow, I'm saying moving the wrong things around here. C for Cowboy. C for Chad, C for Cowboy. I'm seeing a real pattern here.
Dustin Poirier, D. No, I'm just kidding. But Donald Cerrone at that time, I mean, it's an okay win. Sure. Conor hadn't fought in forever. Mm-hmm. Neat. Okay. But he's also a guy that has never captured the championship, although he seemed like he could be at that level in a while. But we're talking about Donald Cerrone, who is in the middle of a 5-fight winless streak. Mm-hmm. So, and even comparatively speaking, his wins don't quite stack up as well. Eddie Alvarez, great. Ben Henderson, great. Jim Miller, Edson Barboza, when he beat him, that's really good. That was the best run of his career. And Charles Oliveira has aged well, but that was a decade ago. I don't think he beats Charles Oliveira today. So I got him at C.
Okay. Let's move on. Again, I think this is the one that'll break the naming conventions we got going on. Dustin the Diamond Poirier, you see in the bottom right-hand side of the screen, he will be fighting Conor McGregor on Saturday, UFC 257. Will you put a little bit more respect on his name this time? Let's find out.
Yeah, he's a B.
Okay. In the context of some of the other guys here, I'll almost let that slide. Almost.
Great. And a young Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier is much better now than he was when Conor McGregor beat him. And I don't think many people would debate that. But he hasn't quite reached the level of these four of these five guys that we see remaining. But he has done some things. And I love watching him fight. I got him at a B, especially comparatively speaking.
Okay. Let's move on then. And I will say, I even got called out on this during our interview, but we did an interview with Eddie Alvarez, and me being the buffoon that I am, really casually went, "Oh, hey, you're the second guy I've interviewed, Eddie. I've got on that wall behind me over here." And Eddie Alvarez goes, "Yeah, not my favorite fight that I've ever had." I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." Wonderboy was way happier about the poster when I talked to him. But Eddie Alvarez in good spirits. We talked about that fight. All props to him. Where are we putting Eddie?
I got Eddie at A because I think his resume is so underrated. And his resume looks better as it goes along. The guy's got a win over Michael Chandler. He beat Shinya Aoki. He got that win over Patricky Pitbull, which looks even better now. But then that UFC run that got him to the title, Melendez, Pettis, and Dos Anjos. Melendez wasn't what he used to be, but it's still good. And then after that, you did have the funky fight with Poirier, but that was just such a good fight. I'm not holding that against him, the no contest. And he beat Justin Gaethje. That one looks really, really good these days. I'm all for that. Back in the day, even if you want to look at him beating like Kawajiri and people like that, I think he hits the A territory.
Okay, let me continue to preach my case for Dustin here. Poirier also beat Justin Gaethje, beat Eddie Alvarez.
Yes.
Also beat Max Holloway. The only thing I'll give you here is Eddie Alvarez has a more illustrious career in terms of winning the undisputed title in the UFC, in Bellator, and beyond.
If this were a video game, I would have Dustin Poirier rated at 89.9 and Alvarez at 90.0. That's how close I hold him in that regard.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on. The man who...
I just want to say, if Poirier wins this fight, he's an A. If he wins this fight this weekend, it's an A.
I'll give it. Who are you leaning towards, real quick?
Poirier.
Me too. Yeah. Okay. Jose Aldo, one half of the all-time greatest featherweight conversation. Personally, my pick at this moment. I think Max Holloway still has lots of time and will eventually surpass him, but not quite yet. Where are we putting Jose Aldo?
S.
Okay.
By far, S. Never been more of a slam dunk decision. Okay, well, maybe the guy that's about to follow him.
Yep.
But Jose Aldo, whenever people talk about the GOAT featherweight, I got a lot of respect for Max Holloway.
Especially after Saturday. Jeez.
Well, not even that, especially after this week, because of that hilarious clip that Farah Hanoun tweeted out of Conor McGregor watching him skateboard. And the fact that you see a guy like Conor McGregor show respect to somebody like Max Holloway, like, I got to fight that guy again. Like, that shows me a lot, too. Conor McGregor gives a lot of people the rub when he just speaks positively about him. You know what I mean? Like, there's some stock to that. But and we're not even talking about Holloway yet. We might as well roll this into one conversation.
Sure.
But I've got Holloway at A right now. I think undoubtedly he'll be an S. Undoubtedly he'll be an S.
When it's all said and done, he will be an S. I agree.
Yeah. It's just, and he's got plenty of years behind him,
29,
too.
Yeah.
But, man, Jose freaking Aldo, man. I mean, it looked like for a while that he was just going to get bored and maybe go – I mean, he still pretends he's going to go play soccer, but even on his quote-unquote downturn, beating Moicano and Frankie Edgar, this is since he lost to McGregor. His win over Mendez, I think, ages really, really well. I think Korean Zombie ages very well. Of course, Edgar and Florian and all that stuff, great wins. But the stuff in WEC that so many people overlook, the run in WEC, and you can say, well, was it?
That wasn't even in the UFC.
I don't care. That's where the best 135s and 145s were, because there was
and they all
no
got
UFC.
Absorbed into the UFC anyway.
Yes. So, I mean, this guy beat Mike Brown, or he beat Cub Swanson. And I don't mean beat Cub Swanson. I mean, like, I didn't think that Cub Swanson was a threat for years after that. Cub Swanson had to rebuild himself. Then Mike Brown, then Uriah Faber, back to back to back. That's just unreal. That is such a run. Now, Gamburian, Hominick, I was like, what are they doing here? What are they doing here? But then they started to book him against like Florian and Mendez and Edgar, and I was like, okay, yeah, he is undoubtedly at S level.
Okay, love it. And let's start closing in here. The man who everyone but Dana White is convinced is retired, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Don't at me. That's how you pronounce it.
S without
a doubt.
Like incredible. If for nothing else than because I made hundreds of dollars off of him on counter move back in the day.
Yes.
Because I picked him against Abel Trujillo, and he took Abel Trujillo down 497 times in one fight. Yeah. It was incredible. He's undefeated. He has beaten so many people that have come his way. Conor McGregor being one of them. And I don't think that Conor McGregor's performance against Khabib was exactly how I would have fight if I had the video game controller and I was throwing the punches with McGregor. But, he lasted a lot longer than anybody else has since in the last 2 or 3 years. Okay, except for Iaquinta. But I wish we could have got the Tony fight. Yeah. I wish we could have got
although I think by now we kind of have our answer. You know what I mean?
We do, but I still wanted it. Yeah. I still wanted it just for the sake of wanting it. He is by far an S.
Okay, and let's close this out by, I'd say in a lot of senses, he's without a doubt my favorite Conor McGregor rival. And the one who really, kickstarted the UFC obsession, I think for a lot of fans. The coolest motherfucker in the room, Nate Diaz. Where are you putting him?
I want to say yes to all these things. They're all true. And I probably got him at a C or a D.
Oh, okay.
No, not a B. Not a B. Why B? Because he beat Conor?
No, I agree. This is the thing. If you're going to put Dustin at B, Nate Diaz should be a step below that. I agree.
Yes. And
I think C, though. I don't think D.
Yeah, I'm good with C.
Okay.
I'm good with C. It's just people want me to – what, you want me to rate a guy a D when he took 3 years off in his prime? Okay. And then before that, okay, he beat Conor McGregor. That's great. That's great. That's cool. He beat Gray Maynard. That's a good-looking win then. It hasn't been since, but Cerrone back then wasn't the Cerrone that he became.
Yeah.
Jim Miller was a really good win. I like that. But, yeah, I got him at C, and I got him at the bottom of C, even though he beat Cerrone.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The Conor McGregor fight, the first one, super impressive, but Conor McGregor at welterweight on short notice. I know it's short notice for Nate as well, but just Nate had more experience fighting at that weight class. The rematch I actually scored for Nate, but again, at welterweight, it's not optimal for Nate, but that's really not an optimal weight class for Conor McGregor. Yeah. And man, he's got great submit. He is a modern old school fighter in the sense that he's got two disciplines that he's really good at. He's a really good boxer, and he's a really good offensive jiu-jitsu player. That's what was sort of considered versatile back in the day, but by today's standard, it's kind of limited, right? Like we saw the way Jorge Masvidal pieced him up. His overall game is not as strong as the two main components, and that's only going to get you to a certain level, you know?
Yep, I completely agree.
Okay, let's review the list, because I know you got to get out of here soon. At S, we got Jose Aldo and Khabib. A, Eddie Alvarez, Max Holloway. B, Dustin Poirier. C, Chad Mendes, Donald Cerrone, Nate Diaz. And the D's, Dennis Seaver and Diego Brandao. Would you like to make any final movements or amendments?
No, absolutely not. Look
You're
at this. The
decisive
only thing
man,
that I
Sean.
might do is knock Nate Diaz down to D, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Oh, come on, you gotta give. At least he's fought for a title. Like Dennis Seaver and Diego Brandao have never sniffed the title.
Yeah.
You gotta at least give him that. Okay, there we are. That is the tier list. Don't at me at Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter if you're upset. Let us know how you feel about this A to D system. Is it a little more palatable? Is it a little easier to digest? We got your prediction already for UFC 257. Can you tell people what the plan is for Saturday's watch along live stream?
Yeah, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a simulcast on youtube.com/Fightful and youtube.com/Fightful MMA. Of course, we prefer that you subscribe to youtube.com/Fightful MMA. It's an effort to grow the MMA channel and get a little more eyes on it, get a little more super chats. That stuff is our lifeblood. When you guys support what we do, it really helps the cycle go round and round.
For sure. Like Sean said, guys, we got a lot of fun content. Go check out MMA fighters reacting to Conor McGregor's trash talk. That's a good one. Hit subscribe, tap the like button, tap the notification bell. Stay tuned for everything Fightful and so delightful.
Oh,
we'll
my
see
God.
you folks on Saturday.
Why?
Yeah, that's what you get, Sean. That's what you get.
Fightful